From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5:30, streaming now.
Tonight here at 5:30, working together to make sure everyone has enough to eat. We'll tell you about the community effort that is still meeting the need despite a personal case of the virus. And Santa's helpers hard at work today to fill another need, one that is sure to bring smiles on Christmas and beyond. Chris.
Topping our lineup, as more people get vaccinated, could a sticker help motivate others to do the same? We're talking to experts about why it actually could play a pretty big role. And with the moratorium on evictions set to end, many Americans are left wondering what's next. We will look at the options that are available to help people make ends meet. And news of a massive hack tied to an alleged Russian cyber attack has many people on edge. We're getting answers on how this could impact you.
First here at 5:30, this year soup kitchens across the country are doing their best to feed those in need. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson takes us to Hancock County to highlight one effort to help those facing hunger.
Here at the Kenneth Butler Memorial Soup Kitchen in Greenfield, Executive Director Jill Ebert describes COVID-19 as a cyclone circling this building, waiting for its chance to get in. And unfortunately, late last week, someone did contract the virus, and now they're still able to feed people thanks to the community.
We've got the food to feed you and the people to love you, to give it to you.
Ebert says normally their dining room is open and it gives the homeless a chance to get inside and take a break from the bitter cold. But because of the pandemic, their dining room is closed.
And, I look outside and I see them walk by the door, or see them walk, down the street. And I know they've been out all night and they're cold and they're freezing.
But the soup kitchen isn't just for the homeless. Ebert says it's for anyone, no questions asked.
We also have a lot of people who have minimum wage jobs, and you can't raise a family on a minimum wage job. You've got to have some help from somewhere. And so that's the part I want them to know, that we can supplement.
Every meal includes an entree, 2 sides, and a dessert. And you could pick up lunch from 11 to 1 and dinner from 5 to 7, Monday through Friday. She says they make large sacked lunches for folks to have for the weekend.
I just want people to know that we're here, and we want to take care of you. We want to feed you. We want to help you.
Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Well, they are still able to feed people even though they are shut down right now. Last week, the sheriff's office and a local restaurant stepped up to help. For the rest of this week, they will just be serving from 11 to 1, and they will serve lunch and dinner at that time in a trailer in the parking lot. Kevin, over to you.
Mark, hopefully sunset is this beautiful for everyone as we look to the west over White River and, of course, Indianapolis Zoo and beyond. Skies cleared this afternoon, little by little, and that sets up a situation tonight where skies will be partly cloudy and I think give most of us a view at times, maybe interrupted by clouds, but you should be able to see Jupiter and Saturn together. Love free shows like that. Astronomy is a beautiful thing. The cloud cover you can barely see on here. It's kind of just a milkish white view north of Indy. As far as any rain showing up on radar, it's gone for now. We should return on Wednesday later in the afternoon. If you thought it was windy, you were right. This is how windy. Kokomo had a wind gust over 40, 35 in Indianapolis. We'll still see gusty winds to 20 miles per hour through the evening. Temperatures in the 40s now, comfortably. Look what happens to the south and west. Temperatures really start to warm for this time of year from St. Louis back into southwest Missouri. Little Rock, Arkansas is at 66. We'll have over the next 48 hours our mildest stretch within the 7-day planner. Temperature tomorrow morning around 30. Temperatures by noontime tomorrow with a mixture of clouds and sunshine at 38. 43, if not a little warmer tomorrow. The winds will gust to 20 miles per hour out of the southwest. That leaves us with the warmest day of the week to talk about, as well as Christmas Eve Day and Christmas. We'll open up all of that, take the bow off it for you coming up.
A growing number of countries are banning travelers from the United Kingdom after a new coronavirus variant was found there. Now, a variant, also known as a mutation, happens when the genetic structure of the virus changes. This is common. The variant first actually appeared back in September. Health experts have found it to be more infectious than the original virus.
Let me tell you what there is no evidence of, nor reason to believe. It is not any more lethal or any more dangerous than the normal coronavirus. No evidence to suggest that, no reason to believe it.
The variant's also been found in Australia, Denmark, South Africa, and the Netherlands. And Italy reports it has at least one patient infected with this mutation. Now, while the UK works to control the new variant, several countries have banned flights coming from there, as well as countries where they've seen such infections. Now, despite the mutation, health officials, they remain adamant that it's still very important to get this COVID vaccine.
There is also no evidence to suggest nor reason to believe that it would evade our vaccines that we have right now. Remember, our vaccines develop antibodies against multiple parts of that spike protein, not just one that's the mutated one. So we're very encouraged about that.
A U.S. travel ban that began in March regarding the UK is still in place. All right, let's turn to the news feed. The European Union's drug regulator has given the green light to Pfizer's vaccine. It's expected that vaccinations could start in the next week. This comes as some countries are seeing surges in cases. Moderna's vaccine is going to patients starting today. There are now 2 COVID vaccines with emergency use authorization from the government. COVID cases in the U.S. have surged in recent weeks. Health leaders want 20 million people vaccinated by the first week of January. Now, China has an ambitious COVID vaccination plan. It wants to vaccinate 50 million people before February's Lunar New Year. Chinese are using their own vaccine, and they say that there have been no adverse reactions so far. Well, there's new guidance on who should get the COVID vaccine after healthcare workers and nursing home residents. People 75 and older and certain frontline workers were recommended. Now, that word coming from a federal advisory panel. The frontline workers group is the largest, and it includes everyone from first responders to teachers, grocery store employees, post office workers, and correction officers. States can still make their own plans. Now, next in our lineup, experts across the country are looking for ways to get more people on board with this COVID vaccine. Why they say a sticker could help spread the word. Those I voted stickers that we see every election season are becoming more commonplace. Now the CDC wants to do something similar with the COVID vaccine. The CDC suggested that people receive a sticker that says, "I got my COVID-19 vaccine." What you're taking a look here is the design that the CDC came up with, but there are other groups that are starting similar initiatives to this. Adam Wachowski founded Courage Through COVID. It's a group that's trying to raise awareness not only about the virus, but also the vaccine. The group created wristbands to give out to folks who have received the shot, and their goal really here is to create positivity.
We're all in this together. And, our goal with the Courage Through COVID wristband is to give people an opportunity to show their unity and really to show their support for each other.
The wristbands are bright neon green with the words "Courage Through COVID" printed on them. Right now, only hospitals in Minnesota are getting them. Wachowski hopes to expand this effort across the country. Now, there are questions over whether this would actually encourage people to get vaccinated. Psychology experts say, though, they can and will. First, there's certainly power in numbers, and if we see a lot of people sporting these stickers, they say that more people are likely to be motivated to go get that vaccine themselves. These stickers can also create a sense of belonging.
That sense of belonging does cause us to feel, again, more motivated to belong to that group, to do what those other people around us like us are doing, but also to stay true to the norms of that group by trying to convince others that those are the correct actions to take and norms to adopt.
Robert Cialdini is confident the stickers will encourage people to get vaccinated, but is unsure at this point of just how big a difference that they will make. He adds another thing that could motivate people is seeing celebrities endorse the vaccine. He says the science behind this is simple. People are likely to see something as more appropriate if they see someone they like doing it. Now, ahead in our lineup, the clock is ticking until the end of the eviction moratorium nationwide. And with the deadline fast approaching, many Americans are left wondering where they'll call home next. Well, we're looking at the possible options that people have as they head into the new year. Checking the news feed, cases are rising across the country, and so is the amount of people traveling. New numbers show that people do not appear to be following travel warnings in the U.S. More than 1 million people passed through airports in just the past 2 days. A new poll says the holidays may just not have the same spirit this year. The AP NORC poll says that Americans are feeling less festive with so much health and economic uncertainty. Now, with that said, we have found that Christmas tree sales are booming this season. And there are so many people that will be spending time with family in a virtual way. this year. Christmas Day could be Zoom's busiest day ever. The company says it believes its software is prepared for all of that traffic. We're used to seeing fields planted with crops stretching for miles. But what if the future of farming actually looked like this instead? Ashley Sampson takes us to an indoor farm that may prove to be part of the solution to saving water and our planet.
Welcome to Bateman Dairy Farm.
This is Meseta, Utah.
A farm where the cattle have quite the view.
Taking care of cows is making them happy, and we make them happy by making them comfortable.
Brad Bateman has worked this farm since he was a small boy.
There was no hanging out. It was coming to work. We developed the farm ground and broke a lot of this ground out of sagebrush.
Today, there are more than 20,000 head of cattle. And feeding them can be a tall order. But sometimes life can present a unique opportunity for, well, growth.
We want to welcome you to the first ever controlled environment indoor farm for animal feed.
Call it a marriage between farming and technology with a more eco-friendly hoof print.
We're calling this machine Olympus. Each of these machines will replace 35 to 50 acres of land.
And get this, it only takes 5% of the water of traditional farming.
The seeds are planted on a tray.
Steve Lindsley is the president of Grove Technologies.
Within about 5 to 6 days, we come out with a beautiful harvest.
His background is in tech, but he sees towers like this helping anywhere rainwater can be scarce.
The challenges with water, you think about the West, you think about California, the panhandle of Texas.
This year, weather wasn't so much the issue, it was COVID. The virus disrupted supply lines all over the world and put farms like the Batemans in danger of running out of feed.
A lot of that feed we couldn't get. They wouldn't let our trucks in.
Bateman says the timing couldn't have been better.
Oh, they love it. Yeah, it's cow candy. They really like it.
And he sleeps a bit better at night as well, knowing his cows will get fed and be happy.
It brought home the importance of having a fresh local supply of feed. That's a really big thing for us. Is what that might mean long term if there's other things that happen like this, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
In Meseta, Utah, I'm Ashley Sampson reporting.
Well, Santa has a lot to do this time of year, so any extra help he can get is certainly welcome. Elves who look a lot like IMPD officers and those who work in a West Side tattoo business teamed up to lend a helping hand, proving the value once again of working together. Officers from IMPD Southwest District stopped by High Caliber Tattoo near Washington and Lyndhurst this morning to pick up huge piles of donated toys. Bobby Easley, the owner of the business and a fellow employee, started the toy drive to assist Southwest District officers who work in the field and then may come across kids in need of a toy this Christmas. The officers will also give out toys to kids who might be in a difficult situation and also as a way to build relationships with community members.
They need a lot more help because they're actually the ones that are out there interacting with the kids and the families. They see them firsthand, so we feel like they're the ones that actually could make the impact when they give the toy to the family, you know, after a crisis event, something like that.
Easley generously offered customers who brought in a toy a discounted rate. He had some very generous customers in return. Isn't that great to see there, Kevin? People just working together to do this?
And you know, we talk about the WRTV toy drive, but when you just listen, look around, you see how many are in need during the holiday season and all the different groups and organizations that are there to help. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, let's talk about our temperatures with skies clearing, especially over western and southwestern portions of the state, setting the stage for you to get a view of Jupiter and Saturn. 46 in Indy. You realize we were just 2 degrees warmer this afternoon at 48, 44 in Kokomo. Temperatures just above average for this time of year. As I mentioned, our next 48 hours will be the warmest. As we look at temperatures during the day tomorrow, we'll start around 30. 41 in Logansport for the high, 41 in Marion. Our winds will start coming around to the southwest. That will make a difference in pulling warmer temperatures into the state, with the peak Temperatures arriving right in the middle of the week on Wednesday. That'll happen out ahead of a strong cold front. Showers develop Wednesday. By Wednesday night, some snow may mix in. It turns much colder, as you can see, Thursday and Christmas Day. Some headlines for you. Those wind gusts Wednesday may reach 40 miles per hour. Temperatures surging into the 50s. But as we get to Wednesday night into Thursday morning, cold air may change some of the rain showers to very light snow. We'll talk more about what happens after the cold snap coming up. Chris?
At the end of the month, a national moratorium on evictions put in place because of COVID-19 will expire. Experts say there's the potential that millions of Americans could find themselves homeless in the new year. As Maya Rodriguez tells us, those facing that possibility are scrambling for options.
Wrapping gifts during the holidays is a highlight for Stacey Williams. Doing it even for friends and family who ask her to do theirs. But this year, the normally happy task masks a sad year.
There's no tree, there's no decoration.
Williams and her family evacuated their rental home in southwest Louisiana just before Hurricane Laura.
In the midst of everything, between Laura and also Delta, we lost my mom.
A deep loss she's still trying to come to terms with as she faces a potential new loss, eviction from her home.
So many people are going through it, and it's just like, what are we supposed to do?
It's not hard to find hurricane damage here in Lake Charles, but it is hard to find suitable housing for all of the people who have been displaced since Hurricanes Laura and Delta tore through here.
It's been a very dynamic and ever-evolving situation.
Stephanie Wagner is with the American Red Cross of Louisiana, which is working to help Stacey Williams and others find a new place to live because hurricanes impacted their work and living situations.
So for the financial assistance that is provided, that is one of the uses that residents can use it for. It can be used for a down payment. It can be used to kind of supplement what they may need for any kind of rental assistance. And we are partnering with other agencies, including FEMA.
But for others not impacted by natural disasters across the country, help is far more limited and the potential for evictions far more widespread. According to the Census Bureau, 1/3 of all the households in the country are behind on their rent or mortgage. The states with the highest percentage, South Dakota, followed by North Carolina, Georgia, Oregon, New Mexico, Wyoming, Ohio, Arizona, and Louisiana. For now, Stacey Williams is just trying to stay positive and keep it all in perspective.
Because even in the midst of all of this, I'm still going to hold on to faith and hope that a way will be made out of no way.
Searching for a way forward to home. In Lake Charles, Louisiana, I'm Maya Rodriguez.
All right, Maya, thank you. Now, the current COVID-19 relief bill that Congress has been working on would potentially extend the moratorium on evictions through the end of January. As of now, the moratorium expires on January 1st. And with the possibility of more people being forced from their homes, there are worries that this could further the spread of COVID-19. So tomorrow, what action that experts say needs to be taken to prevent a further surge in cases. Now, we have some good news for kids ahead of Christmas. During the CNN Sesame Street town hall on the coronavirus, Dr. Anthony Fauci said that he personally made sure that Santa would be safe to deliver presents.
I took a trip up there to the North Pole. I went there and I vaccinated Santa Claus myself. I measured his level of immunity and he is good to go.
How about that? Now, according to USA Today, Fauci said last month that Santa, quote, has a lot of good innate immunity. Now, finally in our lineup, news of a massive hack has so many people on edge right now, but we're getting answers from the experts on how this could really impact you. Concerns over an uptick in cases at an Amazon warehouse with just days to go until Christmas. Amazon is suspending operations at the New Jersey warehouse. The company says it found an outbreak in workers that are not showing symptoms. It's unclear at this point how big the outbreak is, though. Now, CVS is expanding its program to vaccinate people living and working at senior living facilities. Right now, it's in 12 states. It will be in 36 states before the end of the year. Security experts are clarifying what you should know about that hack against the United States. Last week, federal authorities warned of the breach in government and private computer systems. It's suspected that Russian hackers were behind this. Some members of Congress have voiced concerns that taxpayers' information could be exposed through the Treasury Department. But one expert tells us that isn't really valuable to these attackers.
The breach over the last week is much more geared towards nation-state secrets, manufacturing secrets, supply chain secrets, different intellectual property than it is personal information.
Randy Watkins is Chief Technology Officer with Critical Start. He says the average person likely won't see that immediate impact, but with policy information, military strategies at risk, there obviously could be some downstream ramifications. Federal authorities say the hackers primarily got in through software called SolarWinds that some agencies use. Watkins says that means that we need to look more at how we measure security for these third-party vendors.
A lot of times the attackers don't need to go directly after the Treasury Department or the Department of Defense. Those are very locked down networks, but they can go after the third parties that do business and have connections into those environments, and that's what they did in this scenario.
Now, officials say that this hack could have started as early as last March. Watkins says the type of tech that they used is hard to catch, allowing attackers time to patiently collect data under the radar. That means working on detection methods will also be key as we move forward.
Although Christmas Eve and Christmas Day will be very cold, how cold? 22. Christmas afternoon. We'll bounce back next weekend. Temperatures will jump back into the 30s, so it's a short but noticeable cold blast. That's all for the news at 5:30.